there, folks. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the case and to also share a bit of the very, very brilliant artwork from my good friend Susan Sexton. So we're going to show you some things today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the case. But first, we're going to go ahead and listen to a little Stacy Seabrook.
Something going on, freedom is in danger. Agents of the state, they taking children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They needed someone, oh, Jody wouldn't flip. They looked around, saw him quick. Oh, it made so much sense why. Oh, Brendan Dassey, he was Stephen's alibi. There's something going on in Wisconsin that's not kosher. We better stop, let's all take a look closer. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid for Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They visit him once, they visit him twice. They make him feel so safe, sandwiches, soda, so nice. No cameras rolling and under no lights. Who knows what went on up in Fox Hill Monday night. There's something going on, and freedom is in danger. Everything about this kid getting stranger and stranger. All we know, they will sacrifice your kid. Oh, Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. March 1st, alone in a room with Bert and Ernie. No parent present and no attorney. 4 hours later, with a touch of the knee, they finally get Brendan to agree. There's something going on. I said there's something going on. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. There's something going on. I said freedom is in danger when the agents of the state can take the children from the manger. Sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. Take Brendan Dassey, oh, that's exactly what they did.
Alright, hello everybody. So I'm here today to show off some of my, favorite artwork, when it comes to this case. A lot of it from my good friend Susan, who I think is absolutely brilliant. This is one of her creations that, was an idea I had. I started pitching it to her, made a rough sketch kind of it to kind of give her an idea what I was thinking, and then she took it and ran with it. I mean, you look at the detail on these guys' faces, man. Do I need to tell you who these guys are? I don't, do I? You know who they are just by looking at them. I mean, she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. And we'll even look at the whole picture here so that everybody can see all the bales of hay here. So this is, if I bring it down, oops, I can't bring it down. Okay, so if I bring it down, you guys can see up here all the bales of hay, that are basically threatening to break the back of this camel that is, that represents Brendan's case. So brilliant piece of artwork, and Susan Sexton has just been absolutely brilliant. When I come to her with an idea, she's just been knocking it out of the park. So this is one of her creations, and it's pretty brilliant. There's one other one that I really like that wasn't created by Susan Sexton, but I thought this one's brilliant too. I mean, this is somebody got, this is very, very good. I mean, you think about the, Lady Justice, there she is holding the scales, and you know, and here we have, you know, Kratz, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, it epitomizes, you know, really what they think of justice really in that area of Wisconsin, it would seem. It epitomizes, you know, the kind of just unscrupulous nature of Ken Kratz, to put it nicely. But just so you guys know, obviously the artwork you've seen so far was about Brendan, but this video is going to be about more about Steven, because the most recent piece of artwork that I got Miss Susan Sexton to create is to deal more with Steven and Brendan, and I think it's very poignant. So to explain what that's going to be, I've been talking with Miss Sexton and wanted to create an image that embodied the way that the agents of the state cower behind the hall box whenever they are faced with uncomfortable questions or something like that from the press, that they feel like that just puts them on the defensive and they don't want to answer. And what do they immediately do? They start talking about the Halbach family and bringing up the Halbach family and hiding behind the Halbach family. Cowering is the word I prefer, because that's what it's really like to watch them. Schimmel used to do it constantly when he was AG. It'll be interesting to see how much Kahl does it. Josh Kahl, the new AG. But yeah, Schimmel did it constantly. And Kratz will conjure the Halbachs to avoid, you know, uncomfortable questions when he's faced with them. It's just something that these agents of the state will do whenever faced with an uncomfortable question. So, before I move on to showing you guys Miss Susan Lee Sexton's newest creation, which was absolutely brilliant, I'm going to show you one other little thing here first that I really like from a good friend of mine who I will not name, but he created a meme a while back when Brendan was at the Federal 7th Circuit Court, you know, for oral arguments, and Kratz stepped up to the microphones to speak to the press. And so my friend made a meme, and I think you guys will think it's pretty brilliant here, so I'll show you that now. And here it is. So, and if anybody's wondering why I'm picking on Kratz today, it's, well, it's because he said something really dumb on Twitter, and so he, just trust me, he deserves it. Okay, so this is the prize responding to somebody saying, target for whom? Even if you buy the BS that a Manitowoc cop would risk his career and freedom for the likes of Steven Avery because he is suing their employer, how do you extend that hatred to Calumet law enforcement or the state homicide specialists or Calumet DA? Common sense. Calumet DA is him. How do we suspect Ken Kratz? Oh, how on earth are we doing that? I mean, the guy is such a paragon of virtue, right? Oh my God. This guy is such a piece of work. But, you know, this is the kind of stuff that Ken Kratz says. So I'm going to show you one response to Ken Kratz that you might find interesting. So this is a response to Ken Kratz's one response. There's many to it, but this is one response. The agents of the state, like Fassbender, who held that CD in his personal custody for 12 years. And then now Calumet failing to hand over the final pages of Queso, which obviously are the pages that show which bones that Mr. Kratz here couldn't spend 20 seconds on because they could only be deemed possibly human. But these bones were given back to the Halbachs, which to me is pretty much tantamount to an admission that they are Teresa's, and that the state was truly afraid of the defense's narrative that the original burn site was over in the quarry, and that these bones were moved. That's why Kratz didn't want to spend 20 seconds on the bones and wanted to make them seem utterly ridiculous to the jury. So, you know, these are the things that, you know, these are the just... So these are just some of the things with Mr. Kratz that are just completely just off the rocker, essentially. So just wanted to share that, you know, with everybody. You know, Ken Kratz kind of going off this morning. Anyways, moving on. He's just piece of work. But this was at one of Brendan Dassey's federal, oral argument hearings, right? And this was Kratz stepping up to the microphones for the press, and back in the background, you see the sanitation guy or the janitor guy coming in with what looks like 3 or possibly 4 trash cans when Kratz is going to begin to speak. So this was just a brilliant meme created by a friend of mine, and I think it's just brilliant. And I mean, Kratz had no business speaking at Brendan Dassey's oral arguments. I mean, he's disgraced. He's been, fired from his job as prosecutor in Calumet and all those things. I mean, he's been completely disgraced, and yet he thought that he should step up to the microphones for the press at Brendan's oral arguments. So, I mean, the guy asks for it, and he continues to keep himself involved. He continues to speak about the case. He continues to tweet. So, and he's just a complete piece of work. So, all right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the new piece of artwork created by my good friend Susan. And here we have the latest piece of artwork that was created by Miss Susan Sexton. I came to her with the idea, and she really knocked it out of the park. I am very interested to see all of you name these 2 guys right here. I think everybody can tell who those 2 guys are. I really think she did a great job, absolutely brilliant job, with these 2 heads poking out from behind the Halbach skirt here. This, was a piece of art that I, had the idea because I was so tired of watching these agents of the state. Every time the press asks them a question, an uncomfortable question, usually about Brendan Dassey too, but sometimes about Stephen as well, and they start bringing up the Halbachs. They start hiding behind the Halbachs. I say hiding, but it's really more like cowering behind the Halbachs. They are so desperate to deflect the attention when they get the uncomfortable questions and stuff that they scurry like cockroaches to hide behind the Halbach skirt. In my opinion, it's just, and I absolutely have zero against the Halbachs. I feel bad for the Halbachs that on top of everything else, that they have to be, that they have to be used by the state in that way. It's unfortunate. The state should learn to, these agents of the state should learn to just stand up on their own and be big boys and answer for what they did without having to use the Halbachs as a shield. I don't know. I just find it, personally, I find it to be a bit offensive that they do it so consistently. But that's what really got me fired up, and that's what got me to approach my good friend Susan about creating this piece of artwork. And I mean, she just nailed it. She nailed it. These 2 guys here, brilliantly done. I mean, just brilliant. Look at the beads of sweat. It's just, she did a great job. This guy, his receding hairline, and even the way she got his eyes, the way she, just nailed it. She just did a great job. And I'm not going to say who they are because I want you all to guess who they are. But, it's just, this is a brilliant piece of artwork again. Thank you so much, Miss Susan Lee Sexton. You knocked it out of the park again. You're absolutely brilliant. And I will probably be using this piece of artwork quite a bit in the coming weeks. I just thank you so much, Susan. You really you knocked it out of the park again. Susan, by the way, everybody, Susan Lee Sexton is actually working on a few other things right now, a little bit more complicated projects, so they aren't able to get out as quickly as this one was. This one was a fairly simple idea I was able to pitch to her, and she was able to kind of get it out quickly for me, and I appreciate that too. Thank you so much, Susan. But she is also working on a couple of other little things that'll be coming out soon, I hope, and I hope you guys will like those as well. So what I'm going to do now is do a kind of little two songs slideshow where I combine some of Miss Sexton's artwork with Stacy Seabrook's tunes, and I hope you guys will all enjoy that. This piece here was kind of a wish that my good friend Joe Burns had when he saw that Susan and I had created the cartoon of the camel and everything. When he saw it, he was inspired to make this, which is basically a wish of his, where he would have loved to have seen that cartoon on the cover of Time. This was, you know, and this was right after he had been, you know, jerked around by the On Bank, you know, all that. So this was like a little piece that was created by my good friend Joe Burns, which was awesome. It wasn't actually on the cover of Time. Like I say, this was just a little kind of hope that he went ahead and tried to personify into this image. But I think it's brilliant.
Let me tell you about a story. Now we better talk about the law enforcement, a right bunch of clowns, how they wear their badge like a plastic crown, how they're sticking to a story of which they are now bound. It's a rabbit hole they don't want you to go down. But over in Wisconsin, they're doubling down. You see, they framed them once, then they did it again. They did not count on filmmakers making M.A.M. They thought their lives were safe, all went by the ruse. They did not figure on 19 million views. It'll make you shake your head and probably frown. But over in Wisconsin, they're doubling down. I said they double down, they're gonna triple down. They're headed down a road which they cannot turn around. They walk around like they'll be home free, cause they control all the evidence on the local judges and found is the state's AG. But I got some news, it's as plain as day. It doesn't matter what the state or the guilt to say. Oh, we got Kathleen, she's got them in her sights. She's a real life hero, turning wrongs to right. And no matter how hard that state's gavel pounds, over in Wisconsin, they're coming down. No matter how hard that state's gavel pounds, their house of cards is a coming down. It'll make you shake your head and probably frown. Over in Wisconsin, they're coming down. Oh, they say you can trust us. Oh, but they use the badge for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they use the flag for an illusion of justice. It's indefensible. Oh, now what they did, convict an innocent man twice with a 16-year-old kid. Yes, we can't turn away, pretending all the pieces fit. Oh, but if we turn away, we let them get away with it. Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they use the badge for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they use the flag for an illusion of justice. Of justice. Crew to tear did you hear the news? There's a new sheriff in town, not the knee-touching one, not the one supported by them clowns, or the superhero one. She's gonna tear the house of cards down. Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they use the badge for an illusion of justice. Oh, they say you can't trust us. Oh, but they abuse the flag for an illusion of justice. Of justice. We need a wrecking crew to tear this whole thing down.